Well, hello, it's Cynthia Robertson, and I am so excited about this box, and I hope you will be as well. This one is a little different than anything we've ever done before. It is two peacocks that are done in metallic colors. Now, the paints are not in your box if you are the Art Treasure chest, but these colors, just get any blues and greens and aquas that are metallics and they'll be just fine. You don't have to get the same colors that I got. It's just a guide, is what it is. But the one thing I do want to share with you is this is a long video. So I want you to just take it in segments, watch it, then rewatch it and paint it with me. I think you're going to really enjoy the way it looks when it's finished. And this box is pretty special to me, and I am including a set of brushes in your box. So if you have any questions, feel free to call, text, or email me, and I'm happy to answer them for you. So the holidays are amongst us, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and just stay safe. So thank you so much for being with me this year. I appreciate you so very much, and I just wanted to let you know. It's a Merry Christmas. We're going to start by painting the background around these two peacocks. So I like to take these two blues, which is Sea Mist and Cascade by Folk Art, and some white, and do my background. So I'm going to just simply go into the Sea Mist first and grab a little bit of that blue on my brush, and I'm going to just sort of do that flip-flop motion around here. We'll come back and we'll add some white as we go, but try your best to be able to stay in the lines. This is an 8x8 canvas, and these peacocks are done in metallic colors, and they're so pretty. I've done this on a cutting board and for a gift, and it boy, did they love it. So I need a little bit of glasses on here. Ah, I can see again. So I'm just going to come in around these lines here and just put some of this color in. You'll be able to touch up, after you've painted it, you can come back in and make some final touches. But I thought it would be much easier if we put the background in and then did the peacocks on the white canvas instead of it being blue, because it would take so much more paint to do this. So get a touch of the darker, and this is probably the most consuming time of the whole project. So you might want to pick you up a cutting board also and try this on it, and then put resin on top of it. It just is so pretty on a cutting board. Of course, you can do any colors you want. These are just the ones that I have selected. And I'm not really trying to make this smooth. as far as the colors. I'm flip-flopping, to bring this color in. I use this combination of color a lot here, as where I live. I guess you might say this is the colors of the 30A Destin Miramar Beach area. You see this color a lot in furniture and other things. Let me get back over here. And of course, you can go ahead and cover that because you'll come back in with with a liner and it'll be just fine. Can't believe how close we are to Christmas. All right, let's see. Isn't that already turning out pretty? I think it is. Let me see if I can get you a little closer, and we'll back off when we need to. Okay, let's see here. There. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here, and I'm using a number 12 brush. And I think I'll probably do the sides in a metallic, either gold or copper. I think would be really striking on this if you're going to do the canvas. Of course, if you're the Art Treasure Chest, you have an 8x8 canvas in your box. But you don't have to do the sides in a metallic. You can do whatever you want. This is your project. I'm just kind of showing you what I do. So I'm just going into my sea mist, and then I'm going into my cascade. Let me see if I can get, I'm almost getting myself, I'm left-handed, and I'm almost getting myself where there's an area I won't be able to do until it dries. Silly me, I should have started on the right side of my canvas and worked to the left. And why I can't get that in my head, I don't know. I'm going to cover up the lines, and by looking at your little things there, you'll be able to you'll know where to draw your lines with your liner pen up to those little feathers. If you're having a hard time, like when you're doing something that needs a very light touch. If you will bring your hands back this far, instead of getting up here, bring it down this far, you'll find that you'll be able to do the get into those certain little areas. Your touch will be lighter. So sometimes I'm picking up straight color, and then there are other times, like just now, I did half and half. I put my colors close together so that it's easy to go in here like this and be able to blend, gather up both colors. Oops, that one's supposed to be there. That's okay. I'm going to be real careful around his beak here. And around his little sweet head. I went to Hawaii, and my girlfriend had a condo over there. And so I was staying with her, and they had peacocks that roamed the area. And one took a great liking to me. And when I would walk out, here he would come. And he would throw his, whatever you call it, all those feathers. I know there's a name for it when they all open up, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, he would throw that thing out to show me. I guess he was courting me. That's all I could figure out. He was trying to court me. And it was quite funny, because every time I came out of that condo, here he came. So he kept a close eye on me, needless to say. So the one thing I know is I can attract a peacock. Like I said, this was the most detailed time. You may want to just fast forward it to get to the meat of the art piece. As I go around these edges, I go straight up on the chisel, and I just kind of tap it in. Okay. All right, so now let's start over here. Just really working that in there around his little beak, and then around the body of this peacock. Okay, so now we need to go inside here around this little peacock's cute little beak. And I think that ends right there. Being very careful. I mean, you could go ahead and paint your canvas this color and then trace your peacocks on top, but you'll probably end up using more paint, painting the peacock, having to go back because you're trying to achieve the right colors, and that's why I did it this way. When I did it on the cutting board, it was a brown, a light brown cutting board. All right, we're getting close to the end, thank goodness. Sorry about that. It's what happens when I try to get you close. I forget to look up, and I see that you're in the dark. I just love these colors, though. To me, they're very soothing. They don't jump out at you. They're very complimentary to pretty much anything you want to do. So I do use it a lot. Almost there, boys and girls. Okay, now I'm going to come back. I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to tip in to this white. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to add a little touch here and there. And exactly where I'm putting it is when I see these little white spots from the canvas, I go in, that's where I tap it in. So let's start over here. And I'll try to remember. And you want to, just kind of fade it out a little bit. You could also put some water or some blending gel on here and make that white slide a little bit. Let me put some blending gel on it and I'll show you. Where did I put it? So this is Folk Art Blending Gel. And it helps you to move your paint around. But when you use it, you want to barely touch it and then come back into your color. And let me see, where am I? Okay. I don't want a lot. Because you're not wanting a lot. You're just giving it just a nicer look on your canvas. Almost like a, I don't know, a marbled look? I don't know. What would you think? But it just does. I really don't want to have a whole lot of white on my brush, because the blending gel actually brings it out from your paintbrush already. But you want it to blend. You don't want streaks. Okay, let's see. Now we'll go into the center. And I'm barely putting any white on my brush, because the blending gel will make that white really show up. But the places that I'm putting it is when I see those little spots. But the blending gel makes the white go a long way. So now I'm just touching, barely touching, and I'm rubbing it like that onto my paper plate here. And as you can see, there's paint that comes up. So right here, this is what I'm doing to get my white. I'm just rubbing it down like that. Then I'm touching that, and I'm coming back over. And just look how much white there is. So I'm just zigzagging here, moving it around to blend that color in. So I'm just, see how little I have on my, just barely touching that and running it also. So there's really hardly any white on there. But when you look at the canvas, it's definitely there. Okay, now if you feel like you need to come back and get some blue, maybe you think you've got too much white going on or something, I'm just gonna, I use the blending gel, and I'm just kind of ruining a brush while I do this. All right. Let's see, I think I might want to put a little bit right there. But to see little white through your canvas is something that you just, ooh, can't stand it. Just can't stand it. Okay, so I think we have got that process done. And I'm just going to take my excess because I used so much of this. I'm going to just take my excess and put it back in my... Okay, so the next step is going to be us coming in and painting our peacocks. I'm going to put down some folk art winter white. And a little mushroom by folk art. Some raw umber by Deco Art. You could also use folk arts. I just don't happen to have that at my fingertips. I'm going to come in, I'm going to use a little number 4 filbert. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you down so you can see. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and put some of this winter white. Pass it back on. All the way up in that spot. Okay. Now I want to come in with a little bit of the mushroom on the same brush, and I'm just, as you can see, I'm just touching to get a little color on there. And I'm going to come up right here. And a little bit right there. And then a little bit more white on my brush. And I'm going to get a little bit of folk art steel gray. Now, any of these colors can be changed. I'm just going to leave my brush with all the other colors on it, and I'm just going to come in here and grab a little bit of the steel gray, and I want to come in right in here. I wiped it, and I'm going to get a little bit more gray on here. And I come back right in there on top of the mushroom. I'm sure we're not finished with this. We'll do that much for right now. And then I'm going to come in to my, I'm going to add some yellow ochre by Folk Art. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab a little bit of the gray and the yellow ochre. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong. Forgive me. We're going to come over here and get some of the burnt, or the raw umber. Sorry. And we're going to grab some of the burnt. The raw umber and the yellow ochre. I'm having a hard time with that. Okay, I think that's about the color there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of wipe off the excess because we just need a little bit. And we're going to come in I'm just going to paint it all over his little nostril there. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to come in with the raw umber. And I'm going to put a little bit right there. And I'm going to come over here. Right there. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush again. In fact, I'm going to rinse it. And then I wiped it dry, and then I'm going to come back in here. And I'm going to tap, 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 tap. Might need to add a little. I'm going to get some plain yellow ochre and just tap in right there. Come back and get just a touch of the raw umber right in there. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come back and add a little bit more raw umber in these two spots. Rinse my brush. I'm going to go back into my winter white, and I'm going to pull in a little bit of the mushroom. And I'm going to come right through here. And then I'm going to pick up some more of the winter white, but I'm leaving the, because I just had a touch of the other color on, so I'm just working that in. Now I'm going to come back into the winter white, and I'm going to put this right here. Okay. And then, let me look here. trying to, let's see if I can do this. Yeah. I'm going to put a little bit of Folk Art Pure Black. Doesn't need much. And I'm going to also put in a little bit of True Burgundy by Folk Art. Alright, so we went in and we did the winter white, and now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to get this raw umber, a little bit of the burgundy. It's going to take a lot more raw umber. Okay, so I'm going to like come here and outline that right there. Wipe off my brush. And just come back and just rub back and forth into there. Then I want to come in with just an ever, probably even too much. Can you see this little dot? It is so little. I'm going to take that because I don't want a lot on there. I just need a little bit. And I'm going to come back right through there. And as you can see, I'm just trying to work that in right there. Okay. Wipe my brush and come back into the gray. Just an ever so touch. And I'm going to kind of still had that black, even though I wiped it, that black was still there. And then I'm going to just touch that white. Rinse my brush. Want to get all of that color off of there. And I'm going to come back in with a winter white. Just a touch. Like that. And I want to come in like that. And then I want a little bit more of that white right in here. This is something we can come back and play with because those beaks are they're kind of something. I want to edge around with a white. You're not putting very much on your brush. I mean, you can't even see it. But I know it's there. And I just want to bring that out. And then a little bit more white. Come in right here. Okay. All right, so we've got that much done. Now I'm going to switch brushes, and I'm going to come back with probably a 6 or an 8. Let me get one. Okay, I have a number 6 black. So I'm going to put some color. We have the black already. I'm going to put some, and you don't have to do a metallic if you don't want. This is Folk Art Blue Sapphire. And this is Folk Art Amethyst. And we have the white. Let me see, I might put a metallic. Let me see. I think I'll use this. This is Snow White Pearl by Deco Art. Okay, so let me rinse out my brush since I was using 2 different colors on it. All right, so we're going to start, I'm going to start at the back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a deeper purple and add the amethyst. This is Folk Art Eggplant. Got another one open somewhere, but I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to get my little thing here. She says, does it just need a little? There we go. Now it is not a metallic. See if I can get all that on there. Oops, I'm sorry. Hit that thing. All right, so I'm going to start right up in here. And I'm going to put the amethyst in here. But I'm also going to add an ever so touch, just barely, to that. right in here. Get a little bit more black back here in this area, because this is going to be the top of his head and it's just a little bit darker. Okay, so then I'm going to go into my amethyst, and I'm going to pull that in. This is the metallic. Then I'm going to wipe my brush, still leaving the lavender. I'm going to come into the blue, which was blue sapphire. And I'm going to add a little bit of the Snow White to that. And I think I need to probably add a little bit of that purple right here, just a touch, so that these blend in together. And since I have the blue already on there, I'm going to come back into my Snow White. We're going to see what happens here. Come on down. I'm going to just fill that in, but we're going to come back with another color. Okay, so now I'm going to mix some more of this darker purple, which was the eggplant, just a touch. And I'm going to come in here and pulling it up. And with a touch, ever so lightly touch of the black. And we're going to bring it down on his little beak a little bit, like that. So as you can see, this, I'm going into the blue sapphire, wiping it off, and I'm coming right up in there where the black was and making a new color. And I'm just kind of touching, kind of blending it in here. See how that just blends? Okay. So now let's work around the eyes. I'm going to rinse off my brush because I'm going to come in with the Snow White again. Get all that water off. Hang on. I'll wipe my brush really good. And I'm going to come into the Snow White. And I'm going to first put this on. Right through there. And now I'm going to come over here to the amethyst. And I'm going to just pick up, as you can see, you can barely see it. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that and kind of pull it down. See if I can get a little bit more. This is where the details are at that make them look so pretty. I'm going to go back into my purple and I'm going to add a touch of black to it. I got too much black. When I get too much black, I don't try to keep building into that. I just take a little bit of it and bring it over. And that way, I don't have to keep working at it Now there's my color right there. Okay, so I'm going to come in right here. Bring that right in there. Get a little bit more of that purple. And I'm just kind of touch right in here. I'm going to grab, I have a darker gray over here I'm going to put down. This is the medium gray by Folk Art. We may need a touch of that. We'll just see. I'm thinking a little bit of the gray with the amethyst on it, and I'm going to put it right in here. Well, I can't tell any difference, can you? I'm going to wipe my brush and pick up a little bit of that gray and see what happens. Yeah, that softened it up a little bit. And I want to pull it out ever so lightly. So you're just barely touching the edges and you're giving a soft pull. And then go back into my gray. And I want to come up a little bit. Right in here. And then we want to come up here. And I'm going to make a mixture of the gray, the black, and the amethyst. So we pulled the black in there. So let's see what happens. Might need it a little bit darker. Yeah, I'm going to just barely touch it. See? Just barely touch that. And I'm going to come in right there. You're probably saying, I don't see any difference, but when you get through, you will. So I'm going to come on back down here, and I'm going to bring it right there. And I'm going to come over here and put some in there. When we get those eyes done, you will understand. All right, rinse my brush. Come back into my Snow White. I'm going to pull that in right here. Then I'm going to come into this blue one, just rubbing it there, and I want to bring a little bit of, little touch there, a little touch in here. Right there. Okay. Maybe a little touch more blue. Right. I actually want to add a little dark to that. Back to my blue. Now when we get his eye in, you will understand. Now I'm going to grab a little bit more of that black, and I'm going to, with that amethyst on it, I'm going to just kind of do that. All right. Let that dry. We're going to start coming in like this around that white. Then I'm coming in with my eggplant. I'm going to get some of the eggplant on here. I didn't wipe my brush. Get a little bit of the lighter, little amethyst. And I'm going to start coming in. And I think because we are going to have some glass on him, you don't have to really, worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put that in there. I'm going to get a little bit more of that gray. Leaving all the other colors on my brush. I'm just picking up some gray. And a touch of black. And I'm just going to bring this on down. And as you can see, the amethyst is coming through. That's good. And a little bit more of that black. A little bit more black. We're going to put color on top of this. Okay, so now I want to come in with some of the blue. I'm going to start lightly putting some of that blue He's almost coming together. So a little bit of black here. But we're going to put color over the black, the metallics, over the black. So this is the easy part. Sorry about that. We are just filling them full of black. Okay. Right. I'm just wiping that black, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some of the purple at the eggplant right in here. And then I'm going to come over here and get that lighter amethyst, and I'm going to blend that in too. I'm going to rinse my brush because I want some of that blue to really show through. So come over here and get my blue. Now this might look a little strange to you, but when we put the glass on, then it's really going to pop. Now I'm going to take the blue and the amethyst together. Again, blue, amethyst. I'm just really kind of making some lines there. Okay, let's go back to his eye and start getting him to looking awesome. All right, let's see, we're going to need okay, so I really need, let's see. I'm going to put a little red ochre. You could use the red ochre instead of the burgundy, where we've used that. But I need to take some of this and some white. This. And some raw umber. See if I can get my mix going right. That didn't work. Scratch that. I need, where is it? Let me try this one. This is dark chocolate. I'll let you know what we're going to use here in a minute. That's it. Okay, so I'm taking some dark chocolate and some white. A little bit more dark chocolate. I got it too light. Let me come over here, grab some of this. I am not getting the color I want. Let me start all over. Okay, raw ochre. Chocolate. A little bit of the, what was that? Red ochre. Let's see if that'll work. Oops. Get you down there. So I'm using a liner pen. And I'm just really tapping that in. I'm going to wipe that off. Hold on, I have to have something to drink. And I'm going to touch my yellow ochre just a little bit. We're getting it now. We're getting it now. So I'm taking this yellow ochre and I'm just kind of lining across that top now. Just ever so much. Like that. And then I want to come in with some of this raw umber. I want to make sure I get plenty of that on here. Where to go with it? And then I'm going to come in with white. I'm going to take my black, touch of this raw umber, just so it's not so dark. It's dark whatever way you look at it now. Okay, looking good. Then I'm going to rinse my brush and wipe it. And then I'm going to come in with my white, just a touch of that white. And I'm going to give them a little right there. Shake it right there, and then right in there. But I'm going to tap, tap, tap on that one. Like that. Then I'm going to take my white again, and this is his eyelid. And then down here, we give a little white too. Touch of the amethyst right there. Oops. Just pat, 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 because we want to blend it in. And then we'll come back into our purple. We'll lay a little bit of that purple over the blue. Purple over the blue. Okay. I'm going to go in. I'm going to rinse that little brush. I'm losing my voice. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with me, but they ain't figured it out yet. I'm going to go into that medium gray. Make that a little darker. And we're going to use a liner, and that will really bring up that color. So I'm going to rinse my brush again. Put it up. Puts it up. And I'm going to take my number 6 brush, and I'm going to make some of these a different color. So I've got aquamarine, we've got the blue, we've got the black. So let's see what I can do with this aquamarine. Then I'll come over here in my pearl, and on the other side, I'm going to make it a little lighter. I'll let that dry before I do another one. And then wipe that off, and I'm going to come in, just grab some of that pearl. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to do the royal, or rather this blue here. And I think we'll do this one. Okay, and then we'll do this one, the blue also. Okay, so we've got that. Then I've got this blue on here. I'm going to come in and just touch the black. Well, when I touched it, I really touched it. So let me get some more blue. And I'm going to do this one. Get a little bit more black on there. There. Wipe it off. Now I still have that black on my brush, but I'm going to come over here and get this pearl. And we'll see if we get well, that needs a little bit more color. Let's put a little bit of amethyst in it. We'll just do this one, amethyst. And I have a real green. This is by Shuttle Art Metallic. Now, like I said, just go over to Deco Art or Folk Art and just pick you up some colors that you like. This one hasn't even been opened. If you have any of the colors that come in the Treasure Gold, like the Aqua, any of those colors, just feel free to use them. Since I'm here, I'm going to go on and I'm going to do these. So I'm going to have to come back on that with another one, I have a feeling. Let's see if I can get a little bit more. Okay, there's the green. And then over here, I'm going to put like a green on the outside there. And then I'm going to come in with, I have this Deco Art. I love this color. It's called Peacock Pearl. Isn't that ironic? And I definitely have to use some of that. Sorry about that. Right, so I'm going to wipe that green off. I'm going to come in here and get my peacock. Ooh, I love this color. So it's kind of like a peacock in a green. And then I'm going to put that peacock right here. I really like that color. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the black and the peacock. Let's see if I can. And I'm going to do this one. Right there. And I'm going to add that kind of right there on that edge too. Okay. Then I'm going to take this blue and the peacock, make myself a little color here. And then add a little pearl to it. And make a much lighter color. A little that white. See if that'll help lighten it down. Yeah. And we're going to put it right here. New color. Wipe off my brush. I'm going to get some of this amethyst. Put it here. Going to have pretty little toppers. And then I'm going to take this peacock and I'm going to put it right here. But I'm going to come back with the black, just a touch. See if that's a touch. No, I didn't get the touch. Got the touch then. I'm just pulling it in. And then I'm just going to grab some white here and see what this ends up looking like. That looks good. And then I'm going to come over it with the peacock. Just grab some of this green. See how this goes with that. Yes, yes. I'm going to add a little bit more green over on this first one. Well, it has the peacock in it too, but I think it still looks good, don't you? I think it's pretty. All right. So I think we're good to go. I just added a little touch to that right there. All right. I think I'm going to add another. I'll take the eggplant and a little bit of the amethyst, and I'm going to make another one right here. Oh yeah, that looks good. Add a little bit more amethyst, the blue to it. I like that. You like that? I like that. I think that looks good. I'm going to actually touch this one right here with it. Okay. All right, so when these dry, we'll go back in with a liner pen and we'll start with that. Now we're going to move on over to our other peacock. And we're going to start out with, let me really dry this brush. We're going to use a teal, and I think what we need is probably teal. Mermaid Tail by Deco Art. Mermaid Tail. And then what we'll do after we put the mermaid tail on, we'll come back and we'll put the peacock on top of it. And I think that'll be really pretty. So we're going to just start right up here. And I'm going to just bring it on down. Let's see if I bring up another one. Let's see if I can get you a little higher. Much better. Okay. Here's what I was looking for. This is Folk Art Teal. So between the other one and this one, you can see there's just a slight, there's hardly a difference. But I'm going to transition over to it and we'll see what it looks like on this. So it looks like it's the exact same color. So one or the other, use one or the other, and you will be just fine. Okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to add just a touch of black to that up around in here. Like that. So we're just kind of blending in a little bit of black on top of that teal up in here. You don't want to completely cover it. Alright, so now I'm going to go into my and I'm going to just kind of lightly put some of that peacock on here as well because we want the metallic look. We want it to be metallic. So I'm just tapping it in. This is Ice Blue by Deco Art. And I'm going to leave whatever was on my brush. I'm going to come into that. Come into my Snow White. Make it a little lighter. And then I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to come back into that green. I'm going to see if I can get it a little thicker. Much better. Okay, so now we're going to just come right in with the green. Any metallic green will do. I'm going to bring it down to there. Okay, so I'm going to just, that excess green, I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to come into my teal. Just kind of bringing it in. And then I'm going to grab just a touch of black because we need a shadow right in here. Thought I had too much, and I guess I didn't. So I'm just touching in right in here. A little bit of black and a little down here. I'm going to take that teal and that ice blue, and I'm going to come in here. That gives it a little bit darker. I like that. Right in here. Like that. Get a touch of white. Put it in here. Just a touch. Okay. So we're going to leave this and we're going to start working on his beak and this area as well. So I've got to rinse my brush. And the way this looks, it looks like you take white and you put it in here. I guess you might say this is like a base here. So I'm just slapping some white in here. Right through there. And some right here. Let's see, I want to make sure his eye gets the way I want it. Yeah, right here. Okay. Now I'm going to come back over and I'm going to get some raw umber. With the white still on here, I'm going to get some mushroom. Let's see what color I come up with. I think that's going to work. I'm going to take just a hint of the yellow ochre and put in there too. With the raw umber. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to just, this is kind of tap, tap, splotch, blotch. Get a little bit more umber. And you want, get a little bit more raw umber. You want there to be movement between the two colors, if that makes sense. Right in there. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with some white on top of my brush. And I'm going to still need a little bit of that raw ochre in there. And right here, I'm going to take a little bit of black, a little bit of the, I think I'm running out of the ochre. Let me get it some more. I'm going to do the chocolate. Let's see how the chocolate looks. So I'm going to get some chocolate. I'm going to put in there too. Alright, let's see how this works. So it's like he has an eyebrow almost right here. don't want it a perfect shape. You want it to come out. So I'm going to take it like this, and then I'm going to come back over it with another color right in here. So I'm going to come back with, wipe it. I'm not washing it, I'm just wiping it. I'm going to come in with some white on here. Like that. Just kind of tapping in to that other color. Okay, so then we're going to come over here. I'm going to just take some chocolate just on the very tip of my brush, and I'm going to start just taking little swirls, some more, just a tip on your brush, and just make such light strokes. And if you have a problem, get down here to do your light strokes. So you've already put some white down here, so you're good with that. And we're going to put some just a few right there. And then we're going to come in with the black, and I just barely got it on there, and I'm going to start over here, and I'm just making some little lines that come down, that be real soft and gentle. And then you want them to start curving around. You could use a liner brush for this if you'd like. I just feel comfortable using flat. And then right here in this corner, I'm going to put a heavy line right in there and right there. A few little black strokes on top of that. And then let's work on the eye. Okay, for the eye, I'm going to get some orange. This is pure orange. You can use any orange you want. And I'm going to get another plate. Because I'm running out of little tidbits. Alright, so you want your liner brush again. And always wet your liner brush when you're using a liner brush, if you want it to be smooth. Alright, so I'm first going to put some chocolate on my brush. Just a little bit. And I'm going to come, around right here. And I'm going to come right up next to that black line. And right up to there. Wipe my brush. And then I'm going to take orange and chocolate, I believe. So I've got a little chocolate here. I've got the orange here. So I want to take some of that chocolate. And there, I believe, is our color. We shall see. So I'm going to come around right around here. And then I'm going to take my chocolate You might need another coat of the orange. And then we need a blue for this eye. And I'm going to use, where are you? Lots of colors in this thing. Deco Art Desert Turquoise. Let me see if this is going to be the right color. Hang on. I think, scratch that one. We're going to use Deco Art Primary Blue, I believe. And we're going to mix that with a little white. So let me get a little bit of white over here. And we've got our color. So it's Deco, the blue. I had a little brown on my brush. That's why I started over again. All right, so there's our color. So anything that you can come up with, you don't have to, because you're just using a dot of it. It's really all you're using. So we're going to come around right here. Right there. And that's really all you're going to use of that. So now you're going to come back into your brown here. Just a touch on your brush. And you want to get right in here. and then go right into your black. And I'm going to get a little bit of chocolate because I don't want a super black eye, even though it's going to be really dark. I'm going to put that pupil right in there. And then we're going to come back with white and put in that other spot. That right there. Okay. Then this is his little lid. So I'm going to lay that down. See how that really looks like a lid? Bring it there. Bring it there. And then you want to take your, I want that raw umber again, just a second. That's burnt umber. Where's raw umber? You're just needing a touch. So I'm going to come in here, put some raw umber on, make sure I've got a point. And I'm going to pull that right to that corner, right there. It's looking good, isn't it? And then I'm going to come back with this liner brush. Let's see. I'm going to go into my black, and I'm going to wet my brush, go into my black, roll it, so you've got a nice point. And I just want to make sure that I've got little lines going. In there. And then I'm going to just these are kind of like eyelashes. So I'm going to come back over here on this one. I'm going to put a little point in right there too. And I'm going to sort of outline this eye. I'm going to kind of give it where that okay, I think that looks better. I still think we need some of this in here. And I'm just kind of tapping. Make sure we've got that color right. Okay. You rinse that, and I'm going to come back over that eyelid on the other one. I'm going to get just a little bit of this gray. A little bit of the gray, the medium gray. And I want to just come in right here. And I just want it to barely, I just want you to have a hint of that right up above that lid. And also right here on this one too. A little bit more. Okay. All right, so now we're down to his beak, and we will be really close to through. Except that I have not finished out that one I'm going to come over here in my teal. Just put it in there like that. Mixing those two colors. I think that'll be good. Put it here. So we have all of our lines covered. Okay. Back to his little mouth. We're going to go back to our number 6 brush. So this time we're going to have, let me find that right color. Let's try raw sienna. And I don't have this one open either. So I'm going to take a little bit out of there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with a white. So let me get my little white going on. And okay, so we got the white. Now I'm going to wipe that off my brush, but I'm not going to rinse it. And I'm going to come in here with this Raw Sienna by Folk Art. And I'm going to just really lightly put And you'll notice I'm being very, very light-handed with this. And I'm just letting the brushes kind of and then with this still on, I'm going to come into my, what was this color? This was, that one dark chocolate. Let me find the name of what I used. Here it is. It's the dark chocolate. Is that the dark chocolate? That's not it. Oh, it's the red ochre by Master's Touch. So I'm going to get a little bit of the ochre on here. And I'm going to come back and I'm just going to wipe my brush. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to just tap, tap, tap. Because I want it to come up into the other color. So I'm kind of pushing it. Okay, so we've got that, and now we're going to come into here. We've still got work to do here, but we're going to come into here, and I'm going to take the, let's see, what was it? The raw sienna. Is it raw sienna? Hold on. Let's see how this works. I'm going to try my hand at it first before I even tell you what I did. That be it. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm doing. This is Folk Art Medium Yellow. So let me wipe my brush off so I can show you what I did again. Okay, I'm going to take the medium yellow, and then I'm going to take the burnt sienna, a little bit more, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to get the white, and there's a little bit more white. Yeah, a little bit more. And there's our color right there. So it's the medium yellow, the burnt sienna, and the white to get that color. And so now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go on and paint. I'm going to outline his beak here. A little bit more sienna color in there, just a touch. Okay, so now we're going to come in with just a little bit more of these. I still have the yellow on my brush, but I'm going to just come in here and just touch this sienna, and we're going to see if we can get this color in. Yeah, like this. Just barely touching it. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, so we got that in. Now we want to go into your raw umber. Is that my raw umber? Yes. You know what? You may want to use your liner brush for that. So kind of tap a little bit of water into your liner brush and then come back and where in the world did I just put it? It's over here. So get you some of your raw umber and you want to tap, tap, tap into these places right here. You don't want to paint this in, you want to tap it in. I didn't have enough paint on my hands. And then this. And over here. Like that. And then you want to get some, roll your brush. Let me get a little water on here. Roll your brush in your raw umber and have it nice and pointed. And then I'm going to have to turn it sideways like that. He has his mouth pretty much opened. So do your best to get that line in. I need some more. Tap my brush into the water so I can get this to really move. because he has his mouth, except I've got too much right there. So let me come back with some. I wiped my brush and I'm going to go into my white. And we'll see what happens. Because right here needs to be a thin line. And then we're going to put a little white there. A little white right there. And then you just want to put just a little dabba-dabba-doo right here. Like that. See how it makes it look rough? And then I'm going to come up here. And I'm just kind of tapping in like that. And then over here, a little bit more white. And I'm going to come back into this, I think it was a chocolate. I'm just going to put in a little bit of brown, the dark chocolate in here, just to help. All right, then on the bottom of his throat, I'm going to take some of the white and that medium yellow. A little bit more white. And ever, can't get it. Here we go. Touch my brush, get that good and wet. And then I'm going to come right here to here. And then I'm going to take some of the, wipe my brush. Some of the chocolate brown. And right here in this V, we're going to make this a little bit darker. I'm going to get that raw sienna again, and I'm just rose or orchid rather again, and I'm going to put just a right there. And then we're going to end it with a touch of white, and we are almost done. And at least for the, we still got to get the liner out. But this needs to come like that. There. want to take some of this ochre, the red ochre, on my brush, and I want to just kind of give this a little throw some of that in here too. All right, so now we're down to the liner brush, and then we'll be adding glass. I know this has been a long one, but there's just a lot of detail work on this. So I'm using a liner pen. It doesn't matter what size liner pen you use, but we're going to start bringing down some of these, and some of them will go up in like that. Sorry. Oh my gosh, so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what I get for trying to get y'all up so close. Okay, so now some of these have little lines. So you're going to need to get your liner brush back out, and you're going to want to go into probably the chocolate brown. Let me see what I've got here. I'll tell you what, we'll go into our pearl. Let's see what happens when we go into our pearl. Just make some lines with your pearl, and then we'll pick another color here in just a second. My pearl's about dried up, so I've got to add some more. So you just want to make little streaks, and just, get them in there. Just get some little, almost like they're feathers, I guess is the best way to say it. Almost like they're feathers. Got to get that brush pointed. Okay, now I'm going to come in with, I'm going to do some gold. So I have here the Antique Gold by Folk Art. You can use any gold you want. If you have treasure gold, use it. Champagne gold, use it. Whatever gold you want, you use. Because there is so many colors in this. Okay. So now let's very lightly throw in some little gold. Making sure you have a point. I'm telling you, this is going to be so beautiful with glass on it. So beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Let's go over here. Just try to do whimsical little gold things. So how does that look? I think he looks amazing. What do you think? Do you like him? I sure do. There. So now we'll just put the glass on him and he will be done. So I'm going to do some little stems here in some of these little, like that. Oop, that one was too heavy. Too heavy, folks. Got a light hand. Just putting those little finishing, those little touches. All right. So there we have it. I'm going to stare at it a little bit and see what I think. So in your photo, this looks so dark. Let me see if I can put a little bit of, let me just throw some of this on that because I don't want it to really be divided. That's why when I get through, I have to stare and really look to see what I need to do. And some of this is just touch, touch, touch. And yeah, this will look good. Yeah, it'll be beautiful glass. So I hope you've enjoyed this part. We will put the resin on another video. But here we are. Let me bring you up. And there we have it. Oops, let me get this one out of the way. I'm trying to give you a good view. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the edges. And when we come back, I'll show that to you. And we will start putting on the glass and the resin. So I'll see you later. It's time to put the resin and the glass and the resin on. And I have really debated on this one. I mean, he's just so awesome the way he is right now. And so I'm going to just sort of play with this and we're going to see where we land with it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the eyes on so that, as you know, it always makes them stand out. So the one that goes here, I'm going to add literally just a drop that you can barely see. And I'm going to slide that on to the eye. Okay. That is a number 10. Then this one, this is a number 12. So I'm just going to kind of wiggle it around and get it where I want it. And that's it. So we're not going to touch the eyes anymore. That looks just fine. Now, honestly, I just didn't know where to go with this because I just love it so much the way it is. So I thought what we would do is we would add some blue glass on here, but just make it maybe just along this edge here. And I should align that with glue, but I think we'll be okay. So I'm not even going to put it over in here. I'm just kind of putting it right there. And then on this green one, we're going to use the clear because I don't have that real small in the green. And I thought we would put some, let me go on and put a little bit of glue here. So I'm using Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue. This is not in your box if you are getting the Art Treasure Chest box. The two things that are not in your box for the Art Treasure Chest is your torch and your glue. Okay, so I'm just really, like I said, I'm just so hesitant about this because it's just so darn pretty. I mean, I'm just falling in love with this, these peacocks. I think they're just so precious. Don't forget to sign your canvas. And I want to keep it away from that eye. I don't want that on that eye. Bring it down here. I mean, the resin, when we put the resin on, it's going to make it absolutely beautiful to begin with because it's going to be so shiny, so pretty. Okay, so we've got it there. Now, let's take our glue and let's put a little glass in these areas. So I'm just dabbing on some glue, kind of outlining the feathers. I think I got this on this side. So from this point, we'll be using clear because we want it to really show up. And if you have a pair of tweezers, this will help you a lot because like that one really would look great to just turn it that way. And then we'll bring these others in. And if you have clumps of glass like that, all you need to do is put it in a little jar and shake it, and it'll break it up. Try to keep your glass inside the feathers. Okay, so here we go with a few more. And I'm just going to place these in here. Now this one has a point, so I'm going to turn it around this way. And then I'm going to scoot these others. Well, I thought I was going to scoot them. I guess I'm going to pick them up and put them in here. So you definitely need a pair of tweezers. I know this was very time consuming to paint, but I really hope you enjoyed doing it. Okay, so now we'll put some right here. Get over there where you're supposed to. And just be patient. Try to keep everything in the lines. When there's small little things that you're trying to put glass on, you got to really maneuver that glass. Okay, so we got that one. Now I think what we'll do here is I'm just going to do some little zigzags with this glue. Okay. All right, so I think in these, since there's such a cluster, I think we can just put this glass on in certain areas and it will be just fine. And you'll find some that you say, oh, that's the perfect piece for that spot. Seems like that's what I always do. Okay, so a little bit right here. Using your tweezers again to put these where you want. So I'm pushing that in right there. I just really debated about the glass on this. If it was going to be too much, if it was going to take away from the metallic that we've worked so hard to put on. So I'm not using a lot of glass. I just felt like we didn't want to take away from this. So I hope you are thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I just think that a lot of glass is just going to be too much. Just kind of afraid of it. So I hope you agree with me. I think that is just enough. Enough is enough on this one. See, if you've got any little crumbles and you want to put it right here, that might look good. So I always kind of try to take it away from my glass, rather my glue, where I've just laid my glue. And then I want to push it up. You can use your stir stick for this, or you can use your tweezers. But I just think it's enough. And that's all the glass I'm going to put on it. I just don't want to really ruin this. And I even debated about, drawing the lines around it. And I thought, I don't know if I want to do that either. So that's as much glass as we're going to put on it. And in your box, you'll find 4 of these little medicine cups. And these will be your risers to put underneath your canvas. And you want to make sure you have it on a protective cover, because you do not want to ruin your piece of art. So I am going to, I think that 2 ounces is going to do it, but we will see once we start, putting it on. If I put them on right. Okay, so you have a set of gloves in your box, and they are for putting on resin. All right, so I've already put 1 ounce of the hardener, and we're putting another ounce of the gel. And you want to make sure you go right underneath your mark so that, because it's going to rise. So Alexa, set the timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, starting now.
So I'm going to stir slowly, scraping the sides and the bottom of your cup. And you want to do this for 3 minutes and nothing less. But you don't want to whip it because you get all kind of air bubbles, and you don't want that. You will get air bubbles, but your torch will take that out. So I'm going to speed this up so that you're not sitting here watching me for 3 minutes. Alexa, turn off the timer. Okay. Our resin is ready. And one important thing that you want to do, and I've already done this, is when I set mine up, I took a level and I leveled it both ways to make sure it was equal, because you want your resin to stay as equal as it is so that it doesn't pour to this side or pour to that side, or whatever. And then before you put your resin on, you want to come in and you want to brush your canvas, because putting on that glass, there could be little super fine little flecks of it, which will put bumps on your canvas, and you don't want that.
From acrylicpaintingschool.com. If there's too much paint on your brush, you get the lumpy effect and brush strokes.
Well, thank you, Alexa. We all needed to hear that. Well, she's a know-it-all, isn't she? Okay, so we're ready. Our resin is ready. I don't know if we're going to even need these 2 ounces. We will see. When I get through, I'll let you know, and that's going to determine how much resin is in your box. And you want to drizzle it on very carefully. You don't want to pour it on. You don't want to flood this. So I'm just being very careful because as you put it on, it starts to spread once it goes over the glass. So I always like to put it over my glass first so I can see how much it has grown, I guess is the best way to say it. So just keep those very lightly. I'm not dipping all the way in. I'm actually just touching it. Make sure to cover those little eyes. It's amazing how these dome things that we put on the eyes make them look so realistic. I mean, you can look at, set it down and look at it, prop it up, against something, and move yourself around, and it's like it's following you, which is unreal. So I'm very carefully just, I'm not flooding it, but I'm not putting a thin coat on it either. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to come on up here, and I'm just zigzagging across with just a little bit on the teeniest portion of this wood stick. This is going to be so pretty. So as you see, I put it on and then I start lightly pulling it to the edges. But I don't want it to be like paper thin. So you just gotta just kind of judge where you're at with it. Okay, so we got that edge. Let's go over here. And we'll come over here. You also want to watch for spaces that may not have gotten covered. And if you put too much on, you know, you're going to get all that drippage. You have to really watch it to keep it clean. See, we're almost through. Okay, so now I'm going to look and make sure I have everything covered. So I get down eye level and I look all different ways. Okay, that was, I have 3/4 of an ounce left. So it didn't take that much. So now we're going to torch it with one of these type of torches. I don't know what happened, but I came up with a black screen when I looked up as I finished. So I'm sorry about that. So now all you want to do is just get a little on your hand or on a foam brush, whatever, and just wipe your sides if you want to. And if you see any type of debris in your art, you want to take a little skewer knife stick and yeah, like I see a little debris right here, so I'm just going to pull that out. It's another little spot, just touching it, bringing it to me, and that is it. I have resin the sides. So now you want to set your timer for at least 50 minutes. And then you want to come back when the 50 minutes is over with and wipe the sides of your canvas again. Because you don't need to put a load of resin on here. All you need is the resin for the shine. So I just take the resin, I put it all over very sparingly, all around. Let's see. Yeah. And then I take a paper towel and I'm going to fold it and just simply start at the top of it, wrap it over my finger, and I'm going to wipe that excess resin off. And when you come back in 50 minutes, you will need to do this again. And if it's still running, give it another 10 minutes and then come back. And I always cover mine. I got a lot running here. I thought I had this thing level. You want to come back and wipe it again. I'm a little concerned about that. Let me see here. See if I can stick them. I'm using my wood pieces. See if I can get that in there. There. Maybe that will stop it. I hope so. That's why you want to make sure you've got it level. And honestly, I had it level. I don't know what's going on. But that's the thing about the resin. You think you're putting on just enough, and then lo and behold, you've got a running mess. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me turn this off and let you see it. so you can move that one. That gives you a better view of what it looks like. Get this over here. Sorry, I got resin all over me, so I can't get it straight. But there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. So let me